Reading from May 25th, Science of Mind, A Philosophy of Faith, A Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 208, paragraph 2, through page 210, paragraph 3, using inclusive language.
The medium of healing. The thing to remember is that there is just one subjective mind in the universe. This is a point that people often do not realize, and because they do not, they cannot see how a person may be treated without touching them, or a person at a distance can be helped through absent treatment. There is but one subjective mind in the universe. We have already learned the meaning and nature of subjective mind. It is deductive, receptive, plastic, neutral, impersonal, and creative. It is the stuff from which all things are made. We can impress upon it a certain image of thought or a certain process of realization, and you will get a result, for it is the actor. When we speak of every thought dropped into the creative medium, do we think of God's thought and people's thought as the same? We think of each as thought, but as people think both inductively and deductively, God only thinks deductively. God is not conscious of matter as we know it. God is conscious of form, but not size. God is conscious of manifestation, but not space. God is conscious of outline, but not limitation. God is conscious in many forms, but not as division. There is a great difference between conscious and unconscious thought, for trained thought is far more powerful than untrained. If this were not true, the thoughts of the metaphysical practitioner could not neutralize those which cause their patient to be sick. Even a small amount of right thought puts to rot that which is wrong. We have learned that subjective mind can deduce only, that it cannot of itself initiate anything, but this does not mean that it is unintelligent. We must be very careful not to labor under the delusion that because subjective mind cannot reason, it is unintelligent, for it is infinitely more intelligent than our present state of conscious mind, but is, nevertheless, controlled by it. If our subjective consciousness were always clear, if it never received false impressions, the spirit would always flow to the point of objectivity, and we would never make mistakes, would never be sick, poor, or unhappy. The universe, being deductive only, cannot refuse people anything. The very force which makes us sick can heal us. The force which makes us poor can enrich us. And the power which makes us miserable can make us happy. If this were not true, there would be a duality in the universe, and this is impossible. You do not need to look for a law of health as opposed to a law of disease, for there is only one law. This gives a great sense of relief, since it means that there is no power to oppose a treatment. We are bound by our very freedom. Our free will binds us, but as free will creates the conditions which extremely limit us, so it can uncreate and dissolve them. Instead of saying, "Here is a sick person to heal, and I shall have to work hard on this case," we should realize that there is nothing but spirit in the universe, and therefore say, "I am going to conceive of this person as being spirit, and the same power which made them sick will heal them." People often say, "It must be a drain on one to treat so many people." I should think the practitioner's willpower would become exhausted. This is a misconception. Our reference to free will means merely the matter of self-choosing, the matter of deciding what we shall think. Willpower has nothing whatever to do with mental healing. Its use would imply that the practitioner exercises a personal thought force over their patient. This is a false suggestion, which is always some form of hypnotism. Knowing our oneness with God and the creative medium, law, or treatments are free from any thought of control. All thoughts of doubt concerning one's ability to heal come from the belief that it is the personality and not the law which does the healing. Never say, I am not good enough to heal, or I do not know enough to heal. Knowing that you are dealing with law, it is the actor. Recognize all such arguments as some form of suggestion and refuse to let them operate through you. You can heal, but you must know that you can. The day will come, and is rapidly approaching, when the entire world will believe the truth, because the great neutralizing power which right thought is exercising upon the race consciousness. The reason people do not get better results is that they do not understand that principle works independently. The truth demonstrates itself.